Good afternoon, and thank you so much for keeping it locked to NBC. We are coming to you live from the Central Election Results Center. Here we are expecting the Electoral Commission of Namibia to make the latest result announcement. Right now we do have the chairperson of ECN, Dr. Elton Ikembwa, and her team on standby to give us the latest results. It's over to them.
Good afternoon, fellow Namibians. Following the update shared last night, the Commission has continued working diligently throughout the night and this morning to verify and certify the results for the Presidential and National Assembly elections. As part of our commitment to providing regular updates and timely updates, I'm pleased to share with you this afternoon additional results that have undergone a thorough verification and certification process. This afternoon, we'll be presenting results from 31 constituencies in respect of the presidential elections and 24 constituencies for the National Assembly elections. With the release of these results, the total number of constituencies with presidential election results published will stand at 63. And 56 in respect of the National Assembly elections. In accordance with Section 109 and 110 of the Electoral Act No. 5 of 2014, it is now my duty and privilege to announce the following results for the 2024 Presidential and National Assembly elections. I will start with the international votes. These are the votes that were cast in the diaspora. 41 ballot papers have been rejected. 2,108 votes have been counted. That the votes counted have been recorded for Ampanda AR 134, Amthenu COD 2, Kaubaib UDF 7, Itula IPC 692, Karonda Swanu 10, Kavekotora RDP 9, Kumbwa APP 4, Likua UNP 1, March RP 14, Mukwilongo NEFF 7, Ndaitwa Swapo 1093, Shumbwa ADM 3, Swartboy LPM 39, Thomas BCP 3, Benani PDM 90. Karasburg East constituency in Karas region. 94 ballot papers have been rejected, 5,591 votes have been counted, and that the votes counted have been recorded for Ampanda AR 38, Amuthenu COD 12, Kaubaib UDF 10, Itula IPC 945, Karonda Swanu 10, Kavekotora RDP 12, Kumbwa APP 34, Likua UNP 17, March RP 101, Mukwilongo NEFF 12, Ndaitwa Swapo 2167, Shumbwa ADM 8, Swartboy LPM 1920, Thomas BCP 5, Benani PDM 300. Keetmanshoop Rural Constituency in Karas region. 63 ballot papers have been rejected. 5,502 votes have been counted, and that the votes counted have been recorded for Ampanda AR 43, Amuthenu COD 5, Kaubaib UDF 5, Itula IPC 677, Karonda Swanu 13, Kavekotora RDP 8, Kumbwa APP 21, Likua UNP 4, March RP 86, Mkwilongo NEFF 13, Ndaitwa Swapo 2118, Shumbwa ADM 5, Swartboy LPM 2047, Thomas BCP 5, Benani PDM 452. Oranjemun constituency in Karas region. 70 ballot papers have been rejected. 7,274 votes have been counted, that the votes counted have been recorded for. Ampanda AR 195, Amuthenu COD 2, Kaubaib UDF 14, Itula IPC 2802, Karonda Swanu 5, Kavekotora RDP 2, Kumbwa APP 14, Likua UNP 7, March RP 44, Mukwilongo NEFF 35, Ndaitwa Swapo 3254, Shumbwa ADM 5, Swarpoi LPM 735, Festus Thomas BCP 6, Benani 154. Karibab constituency, Erongo region. 163 ballot papers have been rejected, 8,377 votes have been counted, and that the votes counted have been recorded for. Ampanda AR 139, Amuthenu COD 18, Kaubaib UDF 889, Itula IPC 2350, Karonda Swanu 46, Kavekotora RDP 27, Kumbwa APP 30, Likua UNP 11, March RP 59, Mkwilongo NEFF 39, Ndaitwa Swapo 3440, Shumbwa ADM 22, Swarpoi LPM 677, Thomas BCP 14, Benani PDM 616. Omaruru constituency, Erongo region. 50 ballot papers have been rejected, 5,062 votes have been counted, and that the votes counted have been recorded for. Ampanda AR 115, Amuthenu COD 7, Kaubaib UDF 295, Itula IPC 1337, Karonda Swanu 52, Kabekotora RDP 15, Kumbwa APP 16, Likua UNP 6, March RP 43, Mukwilongo NEFF 25, Ndaitwa Swapo 2183, Shumbwa ADM 13, Swarpoi LPM 240, Thomas BCP 12, Benani 703. Oriental Rural Constituency, Hartap Region. 51 ballot papers have been rejected. 3,784 votes have been counted, and that the votes counted have been recorded for. Ampanda AR 25, Amthenu COD 4, Kaubaib UDF 6, Itula IPC 417, Karonda Swanu 12, Kavekotora RDP 6, Kumbwa APP 15, Likua UNP 3, March RP 167, Mukwilongo NEFF 30, Ndaitwa Swapo 1829, Shumbwa ADM 10, Swarpoi LPM 1101, Thomas BCP 2, Benani PDM 157. Ndiona constituency, Kavango East region. 46 ballot papers have been rejected. 3,664 votes have been counted, and that the votes counted have been recorded for. Ampanda AR 27, Amthenu COD 12, Kaubaib UDF 5, Itula IPC 452, Karonda Swanu 10, Kavekotora RDP 18, Kumbwa APP 305, Likua UNP 31, March RP 153, Mukwilongo NEFF 8, Ndaitwa Swapo 2,367, Shumbwa ADM 8, Swarboy LPM 19, Thomas BCP 3, Benani 246. Mankupi Constituency, Kavango West Region. 137 ballot papers have been rejected. 2,165 votes have been counted, and that the votes counted have been recorded for Ampanda AR 16, Amthenu COD 4, Kaubaib UDF 1, Itula IPC 197, Karonda Swanu 1, Kavekotora RDP 8, Kumbwa APP 18, Likua UNP 16, March RP 3, Mukwilongo NEFF 20, Ndaitwa Swapo 1,806, Shumbwa ADM 7, Swarboy LPM 13, Thomas BCP 2, Venani PDM 53. Kurenkuru Constituency, Kavango West Region. 135 ballot papers have been rejected. 5,962 votes have been counted, and that the votes counted have been recorded for Ampanda AR 133, Amuthenu COD 2, Kaubaib UDF 3, Itula IPC 871, Karonda Swanu 5, Kavekotora RDP 6, Kumbwa APP 12, Likua UNP 19, March RP 14, Mukwilongo NEFF 28, Ndaitwa Swapo 4,707, Shumbwa ADM 14, Swarboy LPM 15, Thomas BCP 5, Benani PDM 128. John Pandeni Constituency, Komas Region. 88 ballot papers have been rejected. 13,591 votes have been counted, and that the votes counted have been recorded for Ampanda AR 437, Amuthenu COD 4, Kaubaib UDF 86, Itula IPC 5,416, Karonda Swanu 136, Kavekotora RDP 11, Kumbwa APP 27, Likua UNP 6, March RP 28, Mukwilongo NEFF 35, Ndaitwa Swapo 5,663, Shumbwa ADM 10, Swarboy LPM 1,031, Thomas BCP 32, Venani PDM 669. Which page are we now?
That is number 10.
Okay. Windhoek East Constituency, Komas Region. 112 ballot papers have been rejected. 23,766 votes have been counted, and that the votes counted have been recorded for Ampanda AR 968, Amuthenu COD 14, Kaubaib UDF 72, Itula IPC 10,919, Karonda Swanu 112, Kavekotora RDP 25, Kumbwa APP 39, Likua UNP 22, March RP 913, Mukwilongo NEFF 56, Ndaitwa Swapo 9,102, Shumbwa ADM 7, Swarboy LPM 628, Thomas BCP 23, Benani PDM 866. Ocho Constituency, Kunene Region. 197 ballot papers have been rejected. 6,997 votes have been counted, that the votes counted have been recorded for Ampanda AR 58, Amuthenu COD 19, Gaubib UDF 942, Itula IPC 1306, Karonda Swanu 19, Kavekotora RDP 74, Kumbwa APP 33, Likua UNP 15, March RP 115, Mukwilongo NEFF 23, Ndaitwa Swapo 2905, Shumbwa ADM 43, Swartboy LPM 612, BCP 16, Benani PDM 817. Enana constituency or Hangwena region, 137 ballot papers have been rejected. 14,367 votes have been counted, and that the votes counted have been recorded for. Ampanda AR 255, Amuthenu COD 6, Gaubib UDF 4, Itula IPC 2,668, Karonda Swanu 3, Kavekotora RDP 12, Kumbwa APP 4, Likua UNP 0, March RP 8, Mukwilongo NEFF 32, Ndaitwa Swapo 11,008, Shumbwa ADM 16, Swartboy LPM 15, Thomas BCP 283, Venani PDM 53. Epembe constituency or Hangwena region, 37 ballot papers have been rejected. 5,525 votes have been counted, and that the votes counted have been recorded for. Ampanda AR 50, Amuthenu COD 1, Gaubib UDF 0, Itula IPC 627, Karonda Swanu 1, Kavekotora RDP 2, Kumbwa APP 2, Likua UNP 1, March RP 4, Kwilongo NEFF 15, Ndaitwa Swapo 4,733, Shumbwa ADM 11, Swartboy LPM 2, Festus Thomas BCP 67, Venani PDM 9. Okongo constituency or Hangwena region, 121 ballot papers have been rejected. 12,363 votes have been counted, and that the votes counted have been recorded for. Ampanda AR 106, Amuthenu COD 2, Gaubib UDF 2, Itula IPC 1,315, Karonda Swanu 6, Kavekotora RDP 11, Kumbwa APP 5, Likua UNP 4, March RP 11, Mukwilongo NEFF 46, Ndaitwa Swapo 10,715, Shumbwa ADM 21, Swartboy LPM 3, Thomas BCP 80, Benani PDM 36. Umdaungilo constituency or Angwena region, 65 ballot papers have been rejected. 5,910 votes have been counted, and that the votes counted have been recorded for. Ampanda AR 46, Amthenu COD 1, Gaubib UDF 1, Itula IPC 544, Karonda Swanu 2, Kavekotora RDP 3, Kumbwa APP 4, Likua UNP 2, March RP 3, Mkwilongo NEFF 15, Nandi Ndaitwa Swapo 5,124, Shumbwa ADM 6, Swartboy LPM 3, Thomas Festus BCP 139, Venani PDM 17. Aminus constituency, Omaheke region. 68 ballot papers have been rejected. 5,636 votes have been counted, and that the votes counted have been recorded for. Ampanda AR 16, Amthenu COD 7, Kaubab UDF 13, Itula IPC 647, Karonda Swanu 1,875, Kabekotora RDP 21, Kumbwa APP 16, Likua UNP 9, March RP 102, Nkwilongo NEFF 7, Ndaitwa Swapo 2,165, Shumbwa ADM 11, Swarpoi LPM 303, Thomas BCP 6, Benani PDM 438. Epukiro constituency, Omaheke region. 35 ballot papers have been rejected, 2,732 votes have been counted, and that the votes counted have been recorded for. Ampanda AR 3, Amthenu COD 2, Kaubab UDF 4, Itula IPC 371, Karonda Swanu 253, Kabekotora RDP 32, Kumbwa APP 5, Likua UNP 2, March RP 35, Mkwilongo NEFF 3, Ndaitwa Swapo 1,275, Shumbwa ADM 4, Swarpoi LPM 155, Thomas BCP 4, Venani PDM 584. Okorukambe constituency, Omaheke region. 94 ballot papers have been rejected. 3,935 votes have been counted, and that the votes counted have been recorded for. Ampanda AR 31, Amthenu COD 12, Kaubab UDF 40, Itula IPC 572, Karonda Swanu 57, Kabekotora RDP 16, Kumbwa APP 23, Likua UNP 4, March RP 134, Mkwilongo NEFF 11, Ndaitwa Swapo 2,138, Shumbwa ADM 12, Swarpoi LPM 484, Thomas BCP 8, Benani PDM 393. Oshinene constituency, Omaheke region. 88 ballot papers have been rejected. 4,042 votes have been counted, and that the votes counted have been recorded for. Ampanda AR 16, Amthenu COD 6, Kaubab UDF 14, Itula IPC 683, Karonda Swanu 459, Kabekotora RDP 56, Kumbwa APP 5, Likua UNP 4, March RP 24, Mkwilongo NEFF 5, Ndaitwa Swapo 1,196, Shumbwa ADM 10, Swarpoi LPM 120, Thomas BCP 13, Venani PDM 1,431. Okaku constituency, Oshana region. 169 ballot papers have been rejected. 10,035 votes have been counted, and that the votes counted have been recorded for. Ampanda AR 183, Amuthenu COD 11, Kaubab UDF 3, Itula IPC 3,048, Karonda Swanu 17, Kabekotora RDP 4, Kumbwa APP 3, Likua UNP 1, March RP 3, Mkwilongo NEFF 46, Ndaitwa Swapo 6,536, Shumbwa ADM 58, Swarpoi LPM 14, Thomas PCP 39, Benani PDM 69. Ondangwa Rural Constituency, Oshana Region, 107 ballot papers have been rejected. 6,993 votes have been counted, and that the votes counted have been recorded for. Ampanda AR 331, Amthenu COD 23, Kaubaib UDF 3, Itula IPC 2,652, Karonda Swanu 7, Kavekotora RDP 5, Kumbwa APP 4, Likua UNP 2, March RP 6, Mkwilongo NEFF 38, Ndaitwa Swapo 3,755, Shumbwa ADM 20, Swarpoi LPM 17, Thomas BCP 51, Benani PDM 79. Ongwediva Constituency, Oshana Region, 203 ballot papers have been rejected. 17,351 votes have been counted, and that the votes counted have been recorded for Ampanda AR 546, Amthenu COD 9, Kaubaib UDF 7, Itula IPC 5,823, Karonda Swanu 8, Kavekotora RDP 11, Kumbwa APP 4, Likua UNP 10, March RP 7, Mkwilongo NEFF 69, Ndaitwa Swapo 10,622, Shumbwa ADM 15, Swarpoi LPM 27, Thomas BCP 40, Benani PDM 153. Oshakati West Constituency, Oshana Region, 200 ballot papers have been rejected. 14,622 votes have been counted, and that the votes counted have been recorded for. Ampanda AR 344, Amthenu COD 49, Kaubaib UDF 8, Itula IPC 4,906, Karonda Swanu 7, Kavekotora RDP 8, Kumbwa APP 7, Likua UNP 6, March RP 4, Mkwilongo NEFF 102, Ndaitwa Swapo 8,885, Shumbwa ADM 9, Swarpoi LPM 21, Thomas BCP 62, Benani PDM 204. How many do we still have left?
We are now at 20. That is 24.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ukwiyu Constituency, Oshana Region, 59 ballot papers have been rejected, 5,867 votes have been counted, and that the votes counted have been recorded for. Ampanda AR 119, Amthenu COD 8, Kaubaib Hendrik UDF 4, Itula IPC 1,893, Karonda Swanu 10, Kavekotora RDP 8, Kumbwa APP 3, Likua UNP 2, March RP 4, Mkwilongo NEFF 12, Ndaitwa Swapo 3,715, Shumbwa ADM 30, Swarpoi LPM 12, Thomas BCP 28, Benani PDM 19. Tsumeb Constituency, Oshikoto Region, 174 ballot papers have been rejected. 12,032 votes have been counted, and that the votes counted have been recorded for. Ampanda AR 276, Amthenu COD 22, Kaubaib UDF 183, Itula IPC 3,790, Karonda Swanu 25, Kavekotora RDP 21, Kumbwa APP 66, Likua UNP 41, March RP 97, Mukwilongo NEFF 44, Ndaitwa SWAPO 5,933, Shumbwa ADM 30, Swarpoi LPM 901, Thomas BCP 38, Benani PDM 565. Okaanja constituency, Ochodonjupa region. 314 ballot papers have been rejected. 16,429 votes have been counted, and that the votes counted have been recorded for. Ampanda AR 390, Amthenu COD 29, Kaubai UDF 391, Itula IPC 5,004, Karonda Swanu 112, Kavekotora RDP 47, Kumbwa APP 46, Likua UNP 22, March RP 436, Mukwilongo NEFF 57, Ndaitwa SWAPO 7,526, Shumbwa ADM 62, Swarpoi LPM 1,284, Thomas BCP 22, Benani PDM 1,001. Omatako constituency, Ochodonjupa region. 88 ballot papers have been rejected. 6,973 votes have been counted, that the votes counted have been recorded for. Ampanda AR 165, Amuthenu COD 19, Kaubai UDF 50, Itula IPC 1,859, Karonda Swanu 136, Kavekotora RDP 40, Kumbwa APP 45, Likua UNP 9, March RP 84, Mukwilongo NEFF 35, Ndaitwa SWAPO 3,365, Shumbwa ADM 17, Swarpoi LPM 249, Thomas BCP 15, Benani PDM 885. Katima Mlilo Rural Constituency, Zambezi Region. 46 ballot papers have been rejected. 5,532 votes have been counted, and that the votes counted have been recorded for. Ampanda AR 79, Amthenu COD 4, Kaubai UDF 19, Itula IPC 1,145, Karonda Swanu 8, Kavekotora RDP 23, Kumbwa APP 28, Likua UNP 4, March RP 32, Mukwilongo NEFF 7, Ndaitwa SWAPO 3,876, Shumbwa ADM 2, Swarpoi LPM 19, Thomas BCP 1, Benani PDM 295. The last presidential results for this afternoon, Kongola constituency in Zambezi region. 61 ballot papers have been rejected. 3,908 votes have been counted, and that the votes counted have been recorded for. Ampanda AR 158, Amuthenu COD 10, Kaubai UDF 38, Itula IPC 1,050, Karonda Swanu 2, Kavekotora RDP 9, Kumbwa APP 9, Likua UNP 4, March RP 29, Mukwilongo NEFF 16, Ndaitwa SWAPO 2,254, Shumbwa ADM 13, Swarpoi LPM 170, Thomas BCP 5, Benani PDM 141. Thus far, I have announced 31 constituencies in respect of the presidential elections. I want us to take a break. My voice is fainting, and then I'll be back again at 3:30. And then I'll continue with the rest of the results. Thank you.
Well, that was Dr. Elsingi Kembwa. Now, she is the chairperson of the Electoral Commission of Namibia, announcing 31 constituency results for the presidential elections, and those are what is available this afternoon. She will be back at 3:30 as she indicated, and that is to announce 24 results for the 24 constituency results for the National Assembly elections, and that will make a total of 63 presidential results as well as 56 National Assembly results in total once those are all announced at 3:30. She has called for a break, and we will be back then to give you those results as she brings them. Please stay tuned.
We still continue to touch base with our NBC reporters who were out and about in the field yesterday covering the election day in various parts of the country. And we have now in studio Maria Kalushu. Very good morning to you, and thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning, Jonas. Thank you so much for having me.
Much obliged. Let's start off with your experience yesterday. I believe this is the first elections that you're covering as a journalist for NBC. Talk to us about the overall experience and your impression.
Okay, Jonas, I covered the elections in Rehoboth. We started off at the primary school. I think Rehoboth is quite a small town, and they have sufficient polling station. They had 10 polling stations, and most of them, people were coming in the morning. It was not so full. And I think there was order, it was well organized, there were no chaos.
Yeah. How would you describe the demographics in terms of the people that showed up at the polling stations? We saw that in some places, very young people turned up in numbers to go cast their vote. What was the situation like in Rehoboth?
Yeah, in the urban areas, it was not really young people showed up. It was most elderly citizens, old citizens, so there were no two queues. Only in the rural areas, such as Block E. In Block E, there were two queues. Of the longest queue was the one of old people, old citizens, and the citizens actually were complaining that people are only attending to the elderly because the queue was longer.
What were some of the challenges that you came across, or that the election officials came across? We did speak to several of our colleagues, and one of the recurring themes is that of not having enough ballot papers. Did you find out, at least in that part, what was the reason why they were lacking ballot papers?
In Rehoboth, there was actually excess. There were leftover ballot papers, but we also went to Groot-Oop. In Groot-Oop, there were no water. Some people had to go back home because there are only 4 polling stations, 2 at the school, and it was very packed. There were 2 people that fainted on spot, and people were going back home. So there were many challenges. There was even a chaos because it's at a school, and there was rumors that teachers are bringing their people. So commotion broke out, and yeah.
The teachers are bringing their people in what sense? That to come and vote?
Teachers are not coming in the queue, and they're bringing their families.
To vote as well?
Yes, but it was resolved. They brought 2 more police to come solve the situation.
Okay. Did you at least manage to speak to some of the members of the community to find out, what is it that they want to see change in Rehoboth? You did mention that, water scarcity is one of the issues that need to be addressed. But overall, what was the general feeling about the change that they want to see?
Yeah, change might be very different from people. I don't know what the other person's change is, but people are very eager. Like in Rehoboth station is very fast, like in the rural areas, we saw 4 people walking to the town to go vote. So people are really eager to go vote. And yeah, so we even had to take a few to the town.
All right, Maria, thank you so much, and I hope you really did enjoy this experience.
Yes, thank you so much, Jonas.
Much obliged. Thank you so much, Maria Kalushu, there sharing her experience in terms of the coverage that she did on the election day in Rehoboth, the challenges that were faced there. We will now be crossing over to Khobabis for another update.
range of 350-something thousand reach, which means it's making an impact.
Siluka mentions that while the ECN has utilized social media to disseminate information, there are still challenges in reaching all parts of the country.
Social media has its own dynamics, and such dynamics comes in the form of some misinformation, some just disinformation. Some of them are just deliberate, just to discredit the commission. Some of the comments that you get on our social media, well, we know it's not every comment that will be in favor of us. Some are critics that we have accepted and also worked on to improve on our operations. So social media can be used for good use, can be used for bad use, but especially in election periods like this, some people tend to use it for unnecessarily to instigate fear through misinformation and disinformation.
While social media empowers voters, it also introduces challenges, such as the rapid spread of misinformation and disinformation. False information about candidates, policies, and the voting process can mislead voters and disrupt the electoral process.
People must be very careful about what they say, what kind of information they share on social media. What you don't want, no matter how passionate people become about issues, what would be dangerous is to send out messages that inflame hatred. Either hatred between people who belong to different political parties, people who belong to different age groups, people who belong to different ethnic groups, religious groups, and so on and so on. Because these can have very devastating consequences if they escalate to dangerous planes, like the plane of violence, for instance. So people must watch out against sending and sharing information that is likely to promote hatred between citizens. It's not worth it.
Dr. Santos explains that political parties and candidates are using social media to engage directly with voters, tailoring their messages to specific demographic groups.
With social media, which create a phenomenon that we call audience fragmentation, it's very difficult to see how a range of political parties are actually using social media to their advantage. But the ones that I can comment on, which I have encountered myself, SWAPO, there is a great deal of activity on social media by SWAPO, and this is happening via SWAPO structures themselves, and also SWAPO supporters who take an active role in sort of spreading the message around their political objectives, economic goals, and so on and so on. The IPC, I've also seen them making very deliberate moves, especially on TikTok, to reach out to the electorate. The other PDM, LPM, we see them, but in my own experience, I haven't encountered their content as much as I have that of SWAPO and the IPC. So, but this may not be because they are not doing it. It's just because maybe the algorithm is directing me towards those parties whose clips I may have watched or opened before, which is these are some of the limitations of social media, that the algorithms tend to direct you to sources of information which you have shown interest in. Not that there are no other alternative sources, they could be there, and this could be the case also with other political parties, that they might actually be very active on social media. But if you have not opened their content, chances are you won't see what is going on, because the algorithms won't direct you to that particular content. But someone who is exposed to it may have actually encountered. I can't imagine any political party not having a social media strategy in this day and age.
For young Namibians, social media is a platform to engage with political issues, participate in discussions, and even influence election outcomes.
Fake information, it goes out very quickly on social media, and one has to understand that everything you see on social media is not necessarily right. It can be fake news, it can be from the point of trying to discredit another political party. So something we need to understand, that social media is not necessarily the right place to get your news, but it's a good place to disseminate information.
Sony warns that misinformation can spread more quickly than the truth, which can be particularly dangerous during an election.
They love knowing what's happening these days via social media. Most of the youth that I've talked to throughout my workshops and engagements, most youth get their news from Instagram or TikTok, which is concerning because that's the guys, these are the people who are going to vote. So for us, we also, as a media company, as a political party, it's important to be on these platforms to let the youth know what they're voting for. And yeah, just make sure that it's the right channels to get through to all the people, all the demographics.
Dr. Santos points out that false narratives and misleading information can sway voters, especially those who may not verify the sources behind the information.
In particular, social media are like a double-edged sword. While it's on the other end, they amplify the communicative space, open up channels for inclusive communication, sort of accommodating all kinds of voices at grassroots level, going upwards. They've also created a big problem around the circulation of fake information, misinformation, which usually happens in innocent ways, and also disinformation, which is deliberate, which is where someone deliberately distorts information for particular ends. And we see this happening on social media, and it's happening in a very big way. And it sort of places a huge burden on audiences, because what it means now is for every information that audiences encounter on social media, they also have to go an extra mile to verify most of it, to check the credible sources that you have been referring to. So for instance, if you encounter some piece of information about SWAPO, about their PC and so on, rather than take it at face value, you may want to actually confirm those claims or that information with other sources, like for instance the political parties themselves, or if the information involves third parties like the ECN and so on, you may want to go to the ECN also and see whether or not the claims are actually true.
Social media and political communication scholar at the University of Namibia, Dr. Sadrak Shihomeka, also emphasizes the importance of media literacy.
You may say it is popular because we have a notion that is saying that, almost each and every person who is having a mobile phone has got access either to Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or maybe TikTok. But to what extent are they really making use of it? How frequent are they really making use of it? There, it depends on those individuals. That's why you can't really say it is popular. It may be popular because, according to the statistics, we have, over 900,000, Namibians who are even on Facebook right now. That's now the 2024, statistic. It says, we have so many people that are using, social media in Namibia. But where it is tricky, it is how frequent are they making or accessing these specific, social media, platforms. But yes, especially the young people, they are really, really, making use of it. Some, they are using it for entertainment. Some, they are using it now for information dissemination. So they are using it, to collect data, and some they are using it now for civic engagement in various activities.
Dr. Shihomeka stresses that people need to educate themselves on credible sources to avoid falling prey to online deception.
It is, a platform where people educate and re-educate and they share information with one another. That's where people will be able to tell this thing is right, this thing is wrong. There is this political party, there is no political party. Or this political party is popular, this political party is not popular. So that's one, as a civic, information center. It is also, used as an advocacy tool, especially by the political parties and other agents that are involved, in the political discourse. So what they are using it for, that's where they are now trying to share posters with strong messages, including their manifestos, to convince, the voters or possible voters that here we are, this is what we can do for you, this is how far we can go in case if we happen to be elected, and all those things. So it can also be used as an advocacy tool.
Social media also influences post-election dynamics, including monitoring the election process, handling election aftermath, and engaging the public in ongoing political discussions. Voter feedback and public sentiment can be gauged through social media interactions.
Political parties to raise awareness, to convince the voters on the possible, deliveries that or output that these, political parties are likely, to bring about once they are elected. Another role that it plays is that, it unifies people. And that unity is very important, especially in politics, that you don't always just need to say, I am a SWAPO, I am a NUDO, I am an RDP. But on social media, we are all one. So you'll be able now to see what RDP is doing, you'll be able to see what SWAPO is doing, you'll be able to see. With that, when you are seeing what others are doing and how they are doing it and with whom are they doing it, what you will do, you can also use what we call now copycat behavior in politics. Then you copy a nice model or a strategy that one party is using, so that also you use it to convince and to attract more people to come and attend your events.
Professor Admire Mare is the HOD at the University of Johannesburg, and he is well informed on the political movement in Namibia.
Important role in elections because it's used for informing the public in terms of who the candidates are. It's also used for education. It's also used for entertaining people in terms of the memes that are circulated, but also the jokes around politicians that are also running for office. So it does play an important role, but it also is used by citizens for what we call citizens-initiated campaigns, where citizens can canvass for votes for their own political parties. But also politicians themselves and political parties can also use social media to canvass for political support. So we have seen social media actually replacing the traditional media as a platform through which politicians and citizens can actually engage in political campaigns in the last decade.
Professor Mare too talks about political differences, adding that politicians should not use it on social media.
Social media has played an important role, but of course there's no research that has been done so far to give us a clear indication of the role that social media has played. But one can actually, claim that certainly social media has been actually used by different political parties. So, for example, the ruling party SWAPO, but also the opposition in their various formations. They've also used social media. For example, people like Mark Henry are very popular on Twitter. People like also people like Mpanda are also very popular on social media. So all these politicians have also been using social media for canvassing for political support over time. So what we have tended to see is that there's a lot of permanent campaigning that happens. So even beyond elections, people constantly canvass for votes using these social media platforms.
With young people's involvement on social media, some do it for entertainment and may make fun of political leaders, but Professor Mare says it's sometimes their way of getting involved. In Namibia, social media has transformed the electoral landscape, increasing engagement and outreach, but also posing challenges such as misinformation.
One, at first, they were, making use of live streaming. Remember that we have the line political activities. Those are the political rallies or star rallies and door-to-door campaigns that they are doing. But what now political parties are now doing, instead of them, just, being on offline political activities, they are now using, targeted SMSs or targeted messages. These messages are, being uploaded and shared with a wider population, maybe on a WhatsApp group or on a social media group, be it for a political party or for any community, development, agency. So that's one that, how they are using it. They are also, using it, to circulate, their posters and the political, manifestos. They are also, political parties are also making use of social media, to develop, some videos and audios. What they did, they created various WhatsApp groups. Each region, each constituencies, has got, each office or district that they have. They got like WhatsApp groups. That's what I have seen. WhatsApp is even, trending. They have many, groups. On these groups, that's where they are sharing, and that's where they are even live streaming activities that they are doing. The purpose of doing this is to make sure that, everybody, whether you are in that region or you are not in that region, you will be able now to see what are they currently doing and how are they currently doing. The number of people that are, attending this event. So they are really, especially the major political parties. I'm now talking about well-established political parties, not the minority political parties. The minority political parties, I think they have opted to be a little bit less online, then they are more on offline, on face-to-face, interactions with the people.
As the election draws nearer, political parties are increasingly relying on social media to mobilize voter turnout. The ability to engage and reach voters quickly and efficiently is one of social media's most significant advantages.
Yeah, ECN we have adopted the PESO model of communication. PESO means paid, earned, shared, and owned media. So as part of our own media, we are intensifying the use of our own social media platforms to disseminate information. So we are going to continue with the use of social media, but not forgetting that our traditional medias are still the strongest channels of communication that we have in the country.
I would say ECN, the Electoral Commission, needs to start making sure there are platforms that people can go and focus on those platforms to get the real information, because it is a guarantee that just before the elections there'll be a lot of fake news coming out. They'll be discrediting the voting process, they'll be discrediting the ballots, discrediting other parties, and a lot of it will probably be fake. And the voters need to understand that there are official sources out there, which they must go and see the results there, see the happenings there, or follow the news companies, the reputable news companies, rather than just social media for the news.
As we look ahead to the Namibian elections on the 27th of November, it is clear that the digital revolution is here to stay. Social media not only amplifies the political conversation, but made it more inclusive and accessible. However, with this power comes great responsibility for both political parties and voters. As we approach Election Day, remember that your vote matters. Stay informed, engage responsibly, and let your vote reflect the change you want to see. That brings us to the end of this edition of Namibia Votes 2024. We return again next week, same time, same place. From myself, Jessica, and the entire crew, it's bye for now.
Thank you so much for always keeping it locked to the national broadcaster. This is NBC, making sure that you are educated and informed about all matters in relation to the 2024 presidential and National Assembly elections. Now, as promised by the chairperson of the ECN, Dr. Elsie Nikembwa, she told us she will be back here at 3:30 to continue with the announcement of the available constituencies within the National Assembly, and she is currently on standby to give us those figures. It's over to you, Doctor.
Good afternoon. In accordance with Section 109 and 110 of the Electoral Act, number 5 of 2014, I will now continue to announce the results for 24 constituencies in respect of the National Assembly elections. Starting with international votes or votes that were cast at our Namibian diplomatic missions. 35 ballot papers have been rejected, 2,114 votes have been counted, and that the votes counted have been recorded for ADM 4, AR 272, APP 8, BCP 3, CDV 1, COD 1, IPC 577, LPM 61, NEFF 24, NDP 6, NEFC 2, NPF 2, NUDO 14, PDM 113, RDP 8, RP 20, SWANU 21, SWAPO 968, UDF 5, UNP 2, UPM 2. Ngamingus constituency, Karas region. 67 ballot papers have been rejected. 8,108 votes have been counted, and that the votes counted have been recorded for ADM 8, AR 526, APP 21, BCP 16, CDV 7, COD 21, IPC 2,622, LPM 989, NEFF 177, NDP 19, NEFC 23, NPF 4, NUDO 17, PDM 229, RDP 7, RP 29, SWANU 16, SWAPO 3,328, UDF 11, UNP 27, UPM 11. Karasberg East constituency in Karas region. 98 ballot papers have been rejected. 5,578 votes have been counted, and that the votes counted have been recorded for ADM 12, AR 131, APP 58, BCP 11, CDV 5, COD 8, IPC 795, LPM 1,949, NEFF 43, NDP 20, NEFC 6, NPF 3, NUDO 29, PDM 316, RDP 12, RP 121, SWANU 18, SWAPO 1,997, UDF 7, UNP 23, UPM 14. Karasberg West constituency, Karas region. 167 ballot papers have been rejected. 6,960 votes have been counted, and that the votes counted have been recorded for ADM 9, AR 164, APP 72, BCP 20, CDV 4, COD 12, IPC 1595, LPM 500, NEFF 120, NDP 21, NEFC 14, NPF 6, NUDO 11, PDM 226, RDP 13, RP 65, SWANU 12, SWAPO 4044, UDF 13, UNP 36, UPM 3. Oranje-Mund constituency, Karas region. 77 ballot papers have been rejected. 7,223 votes have been counted, and that the votes counted have been recorded for. ADM 6, AR 777, APP 21, BCP 17, CDV 3, COD 6, IPC 2,141, LPM 840, NEFF 174, NDP 30, NEFC 12, NPF 4, NUDO 14, PDM 204, RDP 6, RP 50, SWANU 19, SWAPO 2,852, UDF 15, UNP 20, UPM 12. Omaruru constituency, Erongo region. 66 ballot papers have been rejected. 4,988 votes have been counted, and that the votes counted have been recorded for. ADM 16, AR 252, APP 19, BCP 20, CDV 4, COD 10, IPC 1,034, LPM 264, NEFF 65, NDP 12, NEFC 15, NPF 5, NUDO 82, PDM 715, RDP 13, RP 64, SWANU 67, SWAPO 1,937, UDF 377, UNP 8, UPM 9. Rehoboth Rural Constituency, Hartab Region. 99 ballot papers have been rejected. 3,294 votes have been counted, and that the votes counted have been recorded for. ADM 8, AR 48, APP 17, BCP 16, CDV 4, COD 15, IPC 457, LPM 663, NEFF 10, NDP 9, NEFC 6, NPF 7, NUDO 15, PDM 193, RDP 11, RP 45, SWANU 12, SWAPO 1,670, UDF 14, UNP 6, UPM 68. Rundu Urban Constituency, Kavango East Region. 624 ballot papers have been rejected. 25,596 votes have been counted, and that the votes counted have been recorded for. ADM 304, AR 1,583, APP 824, BCP 56, CDV 31, COD 41, IPC 3,951, LPM 503, NEFF 416, NDP 178, NEFC 57, NPF 56, NUDO 73, PDM 1,447, RDP 79, RP 199, SWANU 79, SWAPO 15,143, UDF 95, UNP 461, UPM 20. Musese constituency, Kavango West region. 121 ballot papers have been rejected. 3,995 votes have been counted, and that the votes counted have been recorded for. ADM 7, AR 44, APP 189, BCP 4, CDV 4, COD 8, IPC 289, LPM 17, NEFF 18, NDP 5, NEFC 11, NPF 3, NUDO 11, PDM 233, RDP 4, RP 5, SWANU 17, SWAPO 3,068, UDF 9, UNP 46, UPM 3. Pungu constituency, Kavango West region. 143 ballot papers have been rejected. 6,263 votes have been counted, and that the votes counted have been recorded for. ADM 4, AR 109, APP 29, BCP 7, CDV 3, COD 5, IPC 478, LPM 14, NEFF 19, NDP 3, NEFC 2, NPF 3, NUDO 15, PDM 86, RDP 40, RP 3, SWANU 14, SWAPO 5,384, UDF 18, UNP 23, UPM 4. Khomasdal constituency, Khomas region. 143 ballot papers have been rejected. 15,815 votes have been counted, and that the votes counted have been recorded for. ADM 13, AR 2,082, APP 67, BCP 53, CDV 29, COD 24, IPC 3,848, LPM 1,948, NEFF 218, NDP 176, NEFC 23, NPF 17, NUDO 303, PDM 1,500, RDP 78, RP 187, SWANU 470, SWAPO 4,489, UDF 225, UNP 19, UPM 46. Katutura East constituency, Khomas region. 199 ballot papers have been rejected. 15,429 votes have been counted, and that the votes counted have been recorded for. ADM 26, AR 1,946, APP 72, BCP 37, CDV 17, COD 18, IPC 3,803, LPM 2,353, NEFF 228, NDP 83, NEFC 34, NPF 17, NUDO 79, PDM 661, RDP 33, RP 53, SWANU 100, SWAPO 5,284, UDF 533, UNP 26, UPM 26. Windhoek East constituency, Khomas region. 125 ballot papers have been rejected. 23,717 votes have been counted and that the votes counted have been recorded for. ADM 17, AR 3,489, APP 86, BCP 53, CDV 23, COD 24, IPC 8,293, LPM 930, NEFF 294, NDP 127, NEFC 26, NPF 8, NUDO 181, PDM 1,138, RDP 58, RP 1,300, SWANU 228, SWAPO 7,242, UDF 144, UNP 24, UPM 32. Ocho constituency, Kunene region. 202 ballot papers have been rejected. 6,981 votes have been counted, and that the votes counted have been recorded for. ADM 40, AR 176, APP 45, BCP 21, CDV 24, COD 18, IPC 966, LPM 651, NEFF 39, NDP 18, NEFC 17, NPF 17, NUDO 35, PDM 811, RDP 79, RP 146, SWANU 35, SWAPO 2,686, UDF 1,123, UNP 21, UPM 13. Oshinene constituency, Omaheke region. 42 ballot papers have been rejected. 4,068 votes have been counted, and that the votes counted have been recorded for. ADM 8, AR 35, APP 11, BCP 8, CDV 7, COD 2, IPC 221, LPM 116, NEFF 11, NDP 6, NEFC 3, NPF 11, NUDO 1,183, PDM 964, RDP 27, RP 20, SWANU 478, SWAPO 937, UDF 13, UNP 0, UPM 7. Anamlenge constituency, Umsati region. 176 ballot papers have been rejected. 8,203 votes have been counted, and that the votes counted have been recorded for. ADM 0, AR 277, APP 1, BCP 27, CDV 0, COD 5, IPC 855, LPM 8, NEFF 34, NDP 1, NEFC 11, NPF 4, NUDO 1, PDM 38, RDP 3, RP 2, SWANU 14, SWAPO 6,909, UDF 7, UNP 0, UPM 6. Orongo constituency, Umsati region. 118 ballot papers have been rejected. 6,529 votes have been counted, and that the votes counted have been recorded for. ADM 2, AR 254, APP 4, BCP 14, CDV 1, COD 1, IPC 627, LPM 5, NEFF 84, NDP 3, NEFC 18, NPF 0, NUDO 4, PDM 32, RDP 2, RP 3, SWANU 13, SWAPO 5,453, UDF 9, UNP 0, UPM 0. Okaku constituency, Oshana region. 198 ballot papers have been rejected, 10,005 votes have been counted, and that the votes counted have been recorded for. ADM 83, AR 761, APP 10, BCP 73, CDV 10, COD 33, IPC 2,458, LPM 22, NEFF 126, NDP 15, NEFC 151, NPF 6, NUDO 13, PDM 126, RDP 8, RP 2, SWANU 28, SWAPO 6,050, UDF 20, UNP 7, UPM 3. Ompunja constituency, Oshana region. 29 ballot papers have been rejected. 2,640 votes have been counted, and that the votes counted have been recorded for. ADM 2, AR 102, APP 2, BCP 31, CDV 0, COD 5, IPC 508, LPM 3, NEFF 25, NDP 3, NEFC 11, NPF 0, NUDO 1, PDM 17, RDP 0, RP 1, SWANU 3, SWAPO 1,916, UDF 10, UNP 0, UPM 0. Ondangwa Rural Constituency, Oshana Region. 109 ballot papers have been rejected. 6,991 votes have been counted, and that the votes counted have been recorded for. ADM 22, AR 1,122, APP 7, BCP 76, CDV 11, COD 29, IPC 1,965, LPM 33, NEFF 105, NDP 5, NEFC 87, NPF 18, NUDO 7, PDM 121, RDP 10, RP 4, SWANU 18, SWAPO 3,330, UDF 11, UNP 5, UPM 5. Onaina constituency, Oshikoto region. 103 ballot papers have been rejected. 6,887 votes have been counted, and that the votes counted have been recorded for. ADM 5, AR 532, APP 2, BCP 16, CDV 3, COD 6, IPC 1,529, LPM 11, NEFF 24, NDP 2, NEFC 37, NPF 2, NUDO 3, PDM 33, RDP 15, RP 4, SWANU 18, SWAPO 4,634, UDF 9, UNP 2, UPM 0. Okaanja constituency, Ochodonjupa region. 326 ballot papers have been rejected. 16,402 votes have been counted, and that the votes counted have been recorded for. ADM 71, AR 1,347, APP 67, BCP 34, CDV 67, COD 32, IPC 3,567, LPM 1,483, NEFF 184, NDP 105, NEFC 34, NPF 26, NUDO 298, PDM 1184, RDP 44, RP 556, SWANU 195, SWAPO 6494, UDF 536, UNP 30, UPM 48. Omatako constituency, Otavonjupa region. 83 ballot papers have been rejected. 6,894 votes have been counted, and that the votes counted have been recorded for. ADM 20, AR 501, APP 45, BCP 11, CDV 11, COD 18, IPC 1,263, LPM 264, NEFF 63, NDP 45, NEFC 24, NPF 18, NUDO 499, PDM 813, RDP 29, RP 113, SWANU 182, SWAPO 2,887, UDF 72, UNP 12, UPM 4. The last announcement for this afternoon, Omdaungilo constituency, Ohangwena region. 66 ballot papers have been rejected. 5,907 votes have been counted, and that the votes counted have been recorded for. ADM 2, AR 150, APP 2, BCP 169, CDV 1, COD 1, IPC 510, LPM 3, NEFF 12, NDP 1, NEFC 8, NPF 2, NUDO 7, PDM 34, RDP 13, RP 8, SWANU 11, SWAPO 4,964, UDF 7, UNP 1, UPM 1. So that is the last announcement for this afternoon. And in the evening again, we'll come out with some results. But we'll give you an hour's notice, because there are still some that we have to verify and collate. Thank you. Vitalio, I did mention it in my statement. Let me just quickly see. All right, so it's total number of constituencies, 63 presidential, right? Mm-hmm. And 56 National Assembly. That is how far we are.
But Chair, the information can also be found on the website, or if you go on the ECN app, because it updates as the results are being loaded.
So we'll give you an hour. In the evening, Vitalio. Is it okay? Thank you.
That was the latest National Assembly results from the constituencies that are available now, presented to us by the chairperson of the ECN, that is Dr. Elsie Kembwa. They will be announcing more results as they are available. Now, you are watching this special program dedicated to the election results, and we are here to just analyze the results that we have received so far with Dr. Victor Tonji, who is a political analyst, as well as Johan Kutsia. Gentlemen, good afternoon, and thank you so much for being here.
Good afternoon.
Thank you very much.
All right. I'd like to start with you, Mr. Kutsia. What do you make of the results just announced in addition to those that we've had since yesterday?
I think it's very clear that only about almost 1/3 of the votes have been counted yet. So it's very preliminary. And compared to yesterday, it's clear that the votes that have been counted now compared to yesterday, that I think the ruling party has established their lead very certainly. I think that's very clear. And that the LPM is also coming very to the front in the south, although the IPC also have a lot of support. The AR is the surprise overall. What's very interesting for me is the number of votes rejected. That's almost 10%. So if we work on that 10%, the expectations are if 1,400,000 and 47, then that means we can expect 140,000 votes being rejected if we work on that trend. That's quite alarming. I wonder what could be the reasons for that. If people were too nervous because of the long queues, or was it very hot? Were they not well informed, and so on? But that's my view. So I think we cannot make too many assumptions at this stage, but it's clear that the ruling party will win because the 4 regions still need to be counted, and that's the stronghold of the ruling party. And so I would rather expect that they increase their lead further based on that assumption, if I'm correct. Although Khomas and Rongo is still there, but I think total the 4 regions have many more votes.
Yeah. Thank you. Dr. Tonchi, what do you make of the results?
Yes, as my colleague Kutsia has indicated, I see that the trend is setting, because these are votes through almost covering. It's not confined to a certain part of the country.
No, it's scattered
around the country.
Yeah.
But you can see the trend. Even in the stronghold, smaller like polling stations that I had seen in Irongo. You see that PDM there was, they were sort of dividing among themselves with PDM, IPC, and SWAPO getting. Your stronghold is your stronghold.
Yeah.
It's supposed to show.
Yeah.
But so far, it's not really showing. But with the ruling party, with SWAPO, you can see that when it's their stronghold, it's their stronghold.
Yeah.
And so on.
Okay.
With the rejected votes, I know over the years it used to be like 9,000 out of maybe 80,000 votes those days. But I thought by now we have moved away from that. Either it's maybe the voter education has not been so intense, or I don't know what is happening.
Yeah.
Or people had forgotten just within the 5 years, because let's say the last time they voted was 2014 with ballot papers.
Yes.
So it's 10 years later.
Yes. Could we attribute it to first-time voters as well, who probably do not...
First-time voters also, we see the interest of the young people, of the youth, has been immense also. And as first-time voters, maybe they were nervous, and you are always jittery about anything.
It's a big decision to make.
Yeah. So it's always like that. Yeah. So
okay.
Yeah, that's amazing that there's so much. By now, so many rejected votes.
Okay.
Unfortunate.
Yeah. Now, if we may just look at the screen, we do see some changes between the 2014 results, the 2019 and the 2024. Of course, we do know that not all presidential candidates were represented in the previous elections. But if we look at a candidate like Panduleni Itula, so far, while we have crossed the 50% mark in the presidential results that are available, it indicates a drop in his results at the moment. What are the trends in comparison to the years indicating, Mr. Kutia?
I think it's also the first election where we have 15 different presidential candidates.
An increase.
And that also take away votes from, not from the ruling party, but also from the guy that's the second and third.
Okay.
So I think that's an indication of that. It's not an indication of anything about the party, because that's completely separate. You know, the IPC wasn't in the previous election. So, but I think for me that's the deduction that I would make based on that. And if you have more competition, it's not just two candidates. You know, so then you get this. AR is also picking up votes, and it's scattered all over around. Or if you add all the small numbers up that would have voted, say, for the IPC, it's quite a substantial number. If you want to compare it now with the previous election, not saying that everybody that haven't voted now would have voted for the IPC if the other presidential candidates were not there. Yeah.
Dr. Tonchi, when we look at a candidate like McHenry Venani, he is currently official opposition party, but he's, as per the results that exist right now, he is on 4th position. What is your analysis around that?
I think it's the sharing of the spoils among the other parties. You see it over the years. If you take historically, you know, COD started as a breakaway party from SWAPO in '99, and there was much hoopla, and so COD took a little bit from SWAPO at that time, but then by 2004 you have Republican Party, and then you have NUDO breaking away from DTA, and they didn't take votes from SWAPO, but took votes from DTA. So that the trend has been like that. Now, today you have a number of offshoots of SWAPO. You know, AR, you know, they can complain, they can argue, but it's a fact. IPC, it's a fact. The SWAPO Rally for Democracy, you know, COD, I don't know, the Board of Christ and other new, you know, that's right. So a number of them now have taken some spoils from SWAPO, and they've taken among themselves. So that's why you see the results as they are now. So I think we can have a clear analysis afterwards. And see, but that is the trend. Yes.
What does this trend indicate about the parties that are appearing at the bottom, the new parties, or the smaller parties that one would refer to them as?
Well, I would say for me the surprise is the AR, number one. It's their first election, so I think they're doing pretty well based on that. I think what's very interesting, if one look at the international scene, the whole issue about we normally debate things in Namibia. We don't take things into account what's happening outside Namibia so much. For example, the pact agreement being signed by the ruling party, where based on the World Health Organization, that in future that vaccinations will most probably be compulsory if that agreement is enforced. And there's only one party that have, for example, talked about that. It wasn't a major issue. For me, it's a major issue. Not because I support that specific party at all, but because it's a question of life and death with the corruption that happened with the vaccinations. And that's a much more important issue for me as such than any other domestic business here. And people haven't debated that. So that's the benefit of smaller parties that bring new dimensions to the front. And what's very interesting for me is that there's a sort of a pact. If you look at the complaints of all the political parties, what is it, 22 minus the ruling party, they're all standing as one block against the ruling party in the complaints about the ECN and about the results. And that's quite interesting. There's a lot of them saying exactly the same things under one umbrella. And that's an indication where you add up all the small numbers on the parties and saying, we have a problem here. We need to do something. We need to hold the government, the ruling party, accountable and liable for what happened. So if you have a divided opposition parties, a number of them don't want to talk with each other, you will not have that sort of thing. But suddenly now you have a number of small ones that actually comes together in some, at least symbolic sense, and saying we're going to take the ruling party to court. For me, that's quite interesting, but that's also a result of our multi-party system.
I think the announcement is to take the ECN to court, not the ruling party. Yes. Okay, Doctor, I want to bring you in here. Just looking at the trend within the results right now, what does it say about the new governance that Namibia is awaiting? Because as we do know, whether it is the same party sworn into government, it doesn't matter. It's still the new government, right?
What is happening now, whoever comes in, there will be some differences or new. You know what happens in a democracy. In a democracy, it's sometimes very difficult to come up. You know, the constitution it dictates. Say you have a socialist party, you know, a pure communist party, not these playoffs that we have today, but a real, you know, a communist, socialist party. Our constitution says something else. So you cannot, unless you change the constitution. You need a democracy. Yeah. So in terms of policies, you know, you may not see much changes. Okay. But of course, a strong president can bring about a number of changes in the economy, you know, maybe how you run the economy, you know, certain social policies. So yeah, you could see that.
Which areas should be improved then to improve in the economy, for example, and to ensure that democracy continues?
Our country has gone through, I think that we had like a laissez-faire type of administration or governance. Why do I say so? You see, in terms of corruption, there's a small guy down there in the public service, small bureaucrat. There are people that we call, you know, street, you know, street bureaucrats. Like the police, they can give you a ticket if they want, or they can fine you, give you a fine. There's that discretion. So the small guy down there will ignore what's going on, will be sitting in his or her desk, not providing service, but who gets the blame? It's the government. So if we don't straighten up the whole bureaucratic system to make sure that it is effective, we will continue to have problems. Good policies You remember implementation for the last 34 years. Yeah. We are talking about implementation. But who implements? It's down there.
Yeah. But the leader feels the brunt.
But who gets the blame? It's the government. Yeah. So I think people have to be jacked up somehow in order to improve the economy and the efficiency of running government. Yeah. These are some of the things. There are too many. We are training people, but with our public service there. But we are not really but we are not really providing the training that is needed. Where our former president, he went to Singapore. May he so rest in peace, Dr. Gengop. As a prime minister, he tried to improve on administration of government, or management of government, or public management, in general. But we never really emulated some of the good practices from other countries like Singapore, Malaysia, maybe even Germany, where you have to have a BA degree for you to, to work, to be a director, and so on. But we have continued with who who's a friend who's a relative, and those kind of things have to end if we really want to move forward as government. Yeah.
Yes. Prof. Kutsia, when we look at the improving of government, especially the improving of the economy and strengthening democracy, what would you say the new government needs to take into consideration?
Well, the biggest problem, according to the Afrobarometer and according to the people of Namibia, is unemployment. For sure, that's the biggest problem. If you don't have money, if you cannot work, you cannot supply for your family. You have no respect as a man, and in Namibia, and we have a patriarchal system in Namibia that expect a lot from men, and that's why you will see a lot of many more suicides from men because of those high expectations. That put a lot of expectation. So you definitely have to look at tax breaks for encouraging young and small medium enterprises not to pay tax for the first few years. Like in Zanzibar, for the first 10 years, you don't pay any tax. That's the type of thing we need, because it takes a risk to start a business. If you take your pension, it's a big risk. You can lose everything you have developed. So why don't the government, and I'm from the Economic Policy Research Association, one of the co-founding members, we say it over and over to government, give people tax breaks. 58% of all the people employed is from small, medium enterprises. So that will make the biggest difference. Let them grow and give them space to grow their businesses, and when they are bigger and having 2 million or 1 million, then you tax them, not when they are babies. That's for me, that's the biggest, that will be the biggest changer. And the less controls in terms of complying with so many regulations in Namibia that Mr. Tonchev elaborated on, or referred to, for example, things like make it easier to pay tax and not to have bribe people for doing that. Now you have to register with BIPA. You have to do it every year. If you have a CC, so there's so many compliance with government and BIPA and also tax that overlaps, and FIA, they're requiring the same requirements. Why should it take 50+ days to register a business in Namibia? It's not taking that amount of days in Singapore or New Zealand or in Rwanda or in Mauritius or in Botswana. And Botswana's tax rate, I think it's the corporate tax is 22%. I mean, we cannot compare in SADC with Botswana or Mauritius and Seychelles that have overtaken us economically and that have learned from what my friend said about Singapore. It should be about merit, and it should not be about affirmative action or black empowerment, anything like that. Okay. Nothing at all, because business have only talk about demand and supply, and yes, we have big problems in Namibia. We have housing problems, and we have equality problems. I agree, those problems need to be addressed, but there should be a little bit of a flexibility in addressing that and give companies tax breaks that perform well in those areas as well.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
All right. So what do we make of the voter turnout now? Of course, the figures are not extensive yet to make an assessment, but from what we have been seeing and given the figures that we have at the moment, what does it show us?
What did the chairperson say? 63 constituencies?
Yes, counted out of 121 for presidential elections.
For presidential and so on. Out of 144, 1.22. No, I mean the registered voters.
Yes.
Yeah, registered voters. So the half will be what? And 700, something like that. And we are now at 400. So let's wait and see. It looks a little bit, but it depends, which are the bigger regions and constituencies that are still coming. Yeah, because some constituencies may overtake some. If we had the statistics in front of us, then we can cross-check with the. And you remember 89, we start with Bethany and everybody was jumping until you reached the north. Then it was different. Yes. So I think the trend is such. But the turnover, I think it will still be higher.
Okay.
Presidential, these are the only elections that always has high turnout
compared to
the regional
local authority elections.
Local authorities. So I think it will still be, we always had, when we were 1.2 million people, 2 million, I think. But we still had 800,000. The last time I was chairperson, there was 800 and something thousand voters, votes counted. So I think by now with 1.4, there will be the turnout will still be, high. I think so.
There was a consensus that part of the voter turnout was more young people. Is that what you also picked up, Prof?
Well, one would need to see the statistics, but if one look at the Afrobarometer survey in the past, the younger people have tended less to vote or not to vote at all in the past. But now with so many younger voters, what was the percentage of younger voters? What is it registered between 18 and 34? Was it 900,000? Definitely, it seems that they have turned out to come and vote. There was an urgency to vote, and it will be more in the Khomas, Irongo regions compared to in the rural areas. So definitely yes, it seems like the younger voters I've seen a lot of young voters in the queue, but that's just from my observation. But I think it's the first election where so many young voters in proportion, definitely based on statistics that have been registered voters, turned out to vote, and that's a celebration of democracy that we should not forget, and that's great.
Very well. Yes.
To add that, as Mr. Kutsi had already indicated with the surprise is AR, I think that's where maybe an indication that young people may have, followed that route. Yeah, I think that's it. The only thing is, not all young people are AR, IPC, we have to see that. Okay. Yeah, because, SWAPO has pioneers, they start them with small, and then the very strong youth league, it's grounded, it's institutionalized. Yeah. So, most political parties, they don't have those kind of structures. Exactly. So SWAPO is it's a well-established, organization, and it has branches, it has other things. Very few have that, unless you change that with very rigorous campaign, you know, and which will need money. Campaign is not cheap. So for you to be all over the country, with social media today, you can do other things.
Yeah.
But, the youth is for sharing by all political parties. Yeah.
Very well. As we conclude our conversation, please share your final remarks, starting with you, Prof. Kutia.
I'm very happy with the turnout, and I wonder what the turnout would have been if the voting has not been extended. That will be interesting. Number two, the number of younger voters that have actually registered and voted, actually. That will be interesting to see. And then also, if one look at the number of people in terms of the multi-party system that will end up in Parliament, and I expect the quorum is about 14,000 something. And you can see some of the people already on the party list, 1, 2, 3, and 4, that will go to Parliament already. But exciting times, the most exciting time is still lying ahead. Just 1/3 done. So it's, let's see. The next 24 hours will be the determining factor to see who is going to be the winning party.
That's indeed correct. Dr. Tonchi?
Yeah. I can see with this trend of results coming in, I can see Parliament, National Assembly will be a little bit crowded. Yeah, because with our system, everybody has to take a small piece, and they will be in Parliament. But of course, with presidential, if this trend continues, I don't see any emerging, political party. Yeah. Other than the incumbent party. Okay. I stick to that. Yes.
Well, our eyes remain at the ECN Results Center to find out what those final remarks will be. Thank you so much for your analysis.
Thank you.
All right. That was Dr. Victor Tonchi as well as Professor Johan Kutsia, and they were just giving us an analysis of the results that are currently available and have been announced here at the CIRC, that is the Central Elections Results Center based at the ECN headquarters. This is Namibia Votes. I'm Ilago Shitatala. Please keep it locked to NBC.